Let's try that. That's what it was. Just one thing unplugged. That's another director I'm going to have to fire. Or is it a producer? I forget. We'll just shoot one of each. Anyhow, because nobody heard what the hell I was saying, I got disconnected yesterday. The internet dropped for a moment, but it was enough to lose the feed. So, yeah, if that happens again today, I'm not going to try to reconnect. We supposedly have a special agent. You know, we have a business line now. You know, you pay for it, so, you know. What's your business? None of your business. That, you know, the internet works great when it's connected. So, anyhow. So, this is what we were doing. We were painting the little flesh on this guy, Middle Eastern flesh. Had a viewer that was asking me, hey, what do you use for your mix? What colors do you use? And I mix my own. I grow my own colors. So that's what we're going to do. And, yeah, here we go. Yeah, I don't know who it is that we need to fire, the producer or the director. I'm not in the movie business, so, you know, we'll just get rid of one of each. And just for good measure, I know I checked this earlier, but you never know. Okay, it's right side up. Perfect. I didn't have all those issues when I just stuck my phone on there and go. What's the secret? Oh, what is the secret to good Indian bread? None your business. Nice. That stuff's good. I love Indian food. And I like hot food. I prefer Indian food to Chinese food there, Rick. Especially because there's a little food truck that goes to different breweries here, and we've caught them twice. And it's called Twisted Tikka here in town. And the food truck's very clean. And the food seems extremely healthy. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like really, really good. So, yeah. I like all the Indian food. I just don't know what the hell it's called. You know, I haven't eaten enough of it, but I like all those spices. And the spicier, the better. Okay. Anywho. Right, this guy. So we're going to do the same mix. We're just going to start from scratch here. And I don't want to use the smallest of brushes to do this because it's kind of wasted. You know, there's a limited longevity each one of these brushes is going to have. That their tip is worth a damn. And I don't want that wasted on doing things that other brushes can do. So, for instance, painting the entire figure in one color, I don't need to do that with a super tiny brush because I can do that with one that's a little bit bigger. So we're going to get our red leather here, and we're going to get some black. Okay. And yeah, I love Indian food. What'd you have to say about Indian food? Oh, there's a hair stuck here. Now we have a spill. Clean up on aisle 4. It's always an adventure. You never know what you're going to get. This is totally unscripted. It's too much effort to script it. I know I mentioned it before, the people that do the die-cast racing stuff. That's like a full-time job, just editing one of those videos. What are we catching on? Come on, man. Nobody likes a klutz. That's not my skill set, being a klutz. All right. So we're just going to paint every single thing. See if we can get a little closer in here. Or not. Not that most people are even watching what I'm doing. That's fine. Just keep me company. Keep me from going, hey, I wonder what's on this video. So hopefully we don't get disconnected like we did yesterday. So tell me a bedtime story. So my wife says, like, What's going on today? What's going on today? You haven't seen me pissed on the camera yet. Trust me, I got it in me, especially after a work day. This is supposed to be mistaken, error-free stuff. My wife says that I'm a terrible storyteller, and I am. I give too many details. I'm not good at telling stories. Sorry. I can read one to you. Speaking of reading, that thing that came up on, was it Saturday or Sunday when I pulled out that atlas from Atlantis? I started reading some of that. Man, there's some. I've had some daydreams about possibly playing a fantasy game, but I have limited amount of time. Man, there's a whole lot of really interesting fluff in there. Could do some Horde of the Things army and stuff like that, but like I've said before, I won't play another Phil Barker game. I've already burned enough calories on trying to figure stuff out. As a matter of fact, somebody else just posted a question on one of the DBA Facebook pages, and I just realized how different everybody plays the game, and it's like, one of these days I'm just going to pick it up and say, you know what, I'm not playing this shit no more that nobody can understand, and I'll work on my own stuff. But right now I'm too busy with work. That's going to cut into my painting. And like I've said before, working on rules is not therapeutic. Painting is. And rules would keep painting from happening. So, but, I've just gotten to the point where it's like, I don't care how other people play the game. We've played consistently the same way for a very long time. We apply rules consistently. And, if you want to play the rules the way, if you want to, if you're just picking up the game and you're a rules lawyer and you want to argue about, well, that's not how it should be, and you have 0 games to reference it by, and others of us have run tens of games, maybe not hundreds of games, but close, at conventions and played so many games, then you play your own way, I don't care. I'm not here to save the world. And you want to play the game a different way, go right ahead. But you're not exactly an expert if you've never played the rules. Someone suggested a while ago, I should make an unofficial guide. I'm like, you don't understand. I have no interest in that. That's more effort than just creating my own rules. So. There's some people that get on the internet, their whole purpose is only get up in the morning and just argue with people. I'm not one of them. I don't care. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I'm not going to knock on your door and save you. I don't care if you go to the promised land with me or not. And that's as religious as we're going to get. Oh. Anyhow, so it's 6 figures to get these guys done. That'll be 2 more stands. That'll be a third of the army. Then we're probably going to roll either into the Fast Blade or the Solid Auxilia. Because I think I ordered... I think I got 1 pack of these guys. I don't think I have any more. So I don't have enough to make the other Auxilias fast also. So I'll have to make them solid, which is cool because they look pretty neat, with their shields and stuff, so. But I was thinking, if I ever got a wild hair up my ass, I did. I did a lot of looking in the last, what was it been, 4 or 5 days. I've looked at 6 mm figures. I've looked at 10s. It'd be cool to play some fantasy type game that's DBA-ish on the same scale, but then use 6 mm figures, but then base them still on DBA size stands. So in other words, cavalry would still be like this, but you could put them in different formations. But that's just, I like to daydream and look at things and then go, okay, that was nice. The variety of figures just aren't there. 15 is the only thing that has variety of figures, and 28s, but. We'll see. But anyways, so that Atlantis book has all kinds of really interesting fluff. So because it's kind of like historical, it's like historical fantasy. So it's not just things pulled out of nowhere. It's supposedly legends and all kinds of other stuff. And there's monsters and I think there's dragons in some places. But anyhow. It's good to daydream and then get back to Earth and do this. But I looked at some of those factions, saw what type of figures I would use for each one. Just typical daydreaming. And then it's like, okay, do I really want to start from scratch and only build 2 armies? And I have no interest in playing hordes of the things. It's different enough from DBA that I basically would have to give up playing DBA ever. It would just be just too confusing. Try to do it all. So I've got the hordes of the things rules, and I know that back when we were playing DBA 2.2, it's different enough from it that you get confused switching from one to the other. And it's not the troop types. That stuff's easy to keep track, but just the, how threat zones work and who contacts who and who conforms and... All right, let's add a little bit more of this core color. And we're going to stop just shy of this one before we start adding the sunny skin tone. This will be the last color, and then we'll add sunny skin tone from here. So some people hate painting flesh and faces and horses. I like all that stuff. I hate cleaning the figure of flash and priming. I figure anybody can prime the figure, and the manufacturer should have cleaned their figures from flash. Why am I doing their job? So, but it's just a fact that you're going to have to do it, or you may have wrinkles or protrusions on the figure that shouldn't be there. Yeah, I got something done this weekend after I did. I think it was on Saturday when I talked about it. Maybe it was wrong. It was on Sunday. Anyways, one of those days. I started watching rules reviews of, what was the name of that? A Song of Blades and Heroes. I saw a review of that and a review of, what's the other one? Dragon Rampant, which was, I'm surprised that there wasn't more reviews of it, but... anyhow, it's just nice to look at all that stuff, and then you go through and you're like, I really don't like any of them. I'd have to create my own, and then it's like, okay, can I go back and paint my Amorites? Prince August used to sell cleaned and ready prime figures. There's my favorite Martian. A bedtime story. How about a bedtime haiku? No, I can't do any of that. How about slam poetry? Figures all around. Painting to do. Man, I got a lot of paint. Night. That's it. My absolute least favorite, when crossbows come vertical and you have to twist them horizontal. When I had alternative armies paint my figures, whoever did it did not twist them. Oh, I didn't know alternative armies did that. I know Minifigs does. And they taste I don't know what they taste like. They twist pretty easy. I didn't realize that. So you had some guy that just decided to do the crossbows, vertical crossbows. Well, I guess they would still shoot as long it was somewhere for that bolt to rest. So you twisted it back myself, but it chips the paint. Yeah, you'll settle for a limerick. I only know one. And it's an old one. I mean, I probably heard it like in 5th grade. You want to hear it? It's not too dirty. Which means it's not that great. There once was a man from Savannah who died in a very strange manner. He boogied a hole through a telephone pole and electrocuted his banana. There you go. That's all I got. I'll be here all week, folks. Probably heard that about 1981. So, if it's kind of lame, well, I hadn't hit puberty yet. But the police were still together. A limerick. Slam poetry. Speaking of things I like to do, I know Rick has got to have played this before. I know for a fact you had to have played Cards Against Humanity. I love playing that game. And my favorite thing about playing that game is reading the cards out. So in other words, being the person who doesn't pick the cards. Because, yes, you could come up with really cool stuff if you have the cards. But, if you don't have really offensive, disturbing cards, you can't get that creative. It's just kind of mundane. But the person that reads them, that's who I like to be. And I don't like to pre-read them. I kind of on the flow. So, yeah. Cards Against Humanity. All right, I think we left halfway. Now the problem is it already dried out or something like that. So we're gonna need to add a little bit of black to it and get kind of back to where we were, so to speak, before we add the sunny skin tone, which by the way looks like it has separated significantly here. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's try to get this one back together here. I'm being distracted by the sponge underneath not being wet enough. There we go. All right. And I don't want the skin tones to be all the same on all these figures on purpose. So the fact that they're a little different that's actually too drastic between the two. Let's do like a middle shade in here. There we go. Sadat, there we are. Mary had a little lamb. She also had a duck. Uh-oh. She put them on the windowsill to see if they would fall off. Yeah. That's kind of an Andrew. That reminds me of that Andrew Dice Clay one. When things don't rhyme. No, we're kicking it like it's 1989 or 90 or something like that. 90, 91. Let's compare this one to this one. Okay, it's pretty similar. I think we're going to add a little bit more sunny skin tone to kind of vary them a little bit. I don't want all these guys to look like they're completely related. They could have a cousin or something between them. They don't have to, you know, be brothers. How's everyone doing today? Well, I'm doing great now that the workday's over. And I've showered, and I'm in 72 degree Fahrenheit weather, as opposed to 102. I'm doing great now. How about yourself? How's I don't remember whether it was Newfoundland or Nova Scotia. I forget. I think you're in Newfoundland. I think it's Newfoundland where you're at. I've been to one as much as I've been to the other. Never been to Canada. Nothing against going to Canada, just never been there. There's lots of places I've never been. I don't have anything against going. I have a feeling that going to Canada would just be almost no different than here. Well, maybe different than Florida, but no different than, say, the Northeast. Gonna be a pain in the ass to go to any other country for a while. I think that's gonna stick with us for a long time. Just inconvenient as hell. I gotta go towards the end of this year for a week. We'll see how that goes. Doing all right. Either or, they're both the same to Americans anyways. Well, they're not the same to me. You prefer haiku. Okay. Well, I'll have to plan that one out. That one involves a little bit of, you know. Anything's better than traditional poetry. Or Shakespeare. I tell you what, I don't like Shakespeare because you can't freaking understand it. But I did take a class in college where we went over Macbeth, and then we did it as a group. And that was cool, because we could all kind of digest it at once. I don't have a problem with the stories. I just have a problem with the language it's written in. Limericks are a little lame. A dragon flies wings. Okay. A cucumber's seeds.